So what do you think? Do you think we know far more about the EU now than we ever did when we were members? And if so, whose responsibility is that?
There's no question that the level of our knowledge about Brussels and how it works has never been high. But that's, I think, true in most countries of the European Union, with some notable exceptions. And the notable exceptions are where the governments have, for one reason or another, put a lot of investment and time into showing that Europe is a good thing. If you're domestic politicians, which all the leaders of Europe were, they didn't take their rucksacks off marked domestic problems as they walked through the door to become a European leader. They carried them with them. It's quite hard if you're in a domestically challenging situation to give to Europe the credit for things that actually you might take yourself. So there aren't many places in this country and other parts of the European Union where the fact there's been EU funding is firmly marked and celebrated, because governments prefer that people think it's money they've given. There's a logic to this. This is politics. And the EU has always wanted to be a little bit reticent at pushing itself forward, because Brussels has always been under fire, one way or another, from some part of the EU or another, for being this blob in the middle that employs too many people, too bureaucratic, too blah, 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 etc. And yet it is a remarkable set of institutions that take 27 different countries, languages, cultures, ideas, and turns them into people who are able to operate together to create this process called European. Is it perfect? No. Could it be improved? Undoubtedly. Are there things that we could each give you a list, no doubt, of things we'd like to see changed? Of course. But that's true of every institution I have ever known anywhere in the world, including in Britain. So it's thinking about Europe now, for those of us who are sitting here, is perhaps with more knowledge of what was and what might have been and what could be in terms of relationships. But I'm not sure that if you go much further outside here and stop people and said, so tell us, what do you know about how Europe works, that we'd get much further in the conversation than we would have done before the referendum.
That's depressing for organisations like ours that have spent the last few years trying to explain what's going on.
But you know...
Explanation is